you have 80% of the people chasing 10 to 20% of the people. And what happens is, if you're not in that 10 to 20%, you're having negative dating experiences all of the time. And what people tell you is you're having negative dating experiences because women have changed and they're mean to men now. You're having negative dating experiences because men are narcissists and fuckboys and they have changed. Yeah, right. They weren't cheating back in the day. People didn't want different people back in the day. People didn't want to get divorced. People didn't want to move on. The difference was you really couldn't. Now you have mobility. Now it's a different world that you live in. Things have been destigmatized. Opportunities have been created to where we can live apart now. You don't need to have two people together because now you have daycare. You have salaries where people can live alone. You have technology that allows people to be able to cook, who can't cook. You don't even got to be able to cook now. Heck, and they got DoorDash. They got all these things that make it to where living apart is so much easier. This is improvement. When life gets better in terms of technology, in terms of money, relationships, whether they are family relationships, whether they are personal relationships, they start to divide. Look how far people live apart from each other when they're family. How close is your closest family member? And if you got one that lives next door, how close is the next one? How many of you live in a completely different state from anybody who is not in your immediate family, who lives in your house? Now go back to 1955. Would that have been the case? No, it wouldn't have been, because you wouldn't be able to survive so easily without your family. Technology has made it to where you can. Things have gotten better. Oh, thanks. I see Lady Marie J just hit me with the super chat. I appreciate you. We appreciate your content, chat. Oh, breath of fresh air. Appreciate you. I appreciate that, y'all. Keep those coming. I will try to read them as I see them. If I don't see them for a second, I will get to them. All right. If y'all want to ask questions and stuff like that too, I'm going to try to get to that. But as things have gotten better, it makes it to where relationships become flimsy and where relationships become a lot more disposable. So that's what you're seeing a lot of. So I'm a solution-oriented person. If you wanted me to come in here and bash people and everything like that, that ain't me. I'm not here to do that. I'm a solution-oriented person. When we see in these relationships nowadays, it's people who have options, and even people who don't have options think they have options. Even people who don't have a chance to get somebody better than who's right there in front of them believe that they do. That may be you. You may not be keeping it real with yourself. But now we have a situation set up to where people believe that they have far more options. Technology lets you see everything. Think about when you're at your job. Now you can get on YouTube. You can see somebody like, what? This mug made 50 million selling plants? Man, that could be me. Now you want to quit your job. It's the same when you look at relationships. Now you look on Instagram, you see these other people relationship goals. They going all the way to Jamaica and Hawaii and rubbing suntan lotion on each other and having the greatest time ever. And you like, what about me? What about my life? Why am I with this person and we're not doing any of those things? Or I'm single, but I see other people around me that I could get with, but they wouldn't be able to provide that same lifestyle. Y'all feel me knocking? That's what's happening here. So this is going on with men and women, but we only see it with the people that we date. So if you're a man, you have never dated a man in your life, how the heck do you know how men act in relationships? If you're a woman and you've never dated a woman in your life, especially not as a man, then how do you know how women act in relationships towards men? You don't. So because I am one of the few relationship people, whatever you want to call it, coaches, whatever, who works with men and women, I get to see that this phenomenon of options has affected both people equally. It's just that they only see it with one group. So if I'm on Tinder as a female and there's only about 28% of the population on Tinder being women, and I'm a guy on Tinder and there's like 72% of the population is men, I'm looking at it like, well, see, these women got all these options and they're turning us down left and right. But what guys don't think about is there are women who are on Tinder too. It is only 28% women and they still can't get a date. Because guys look at these other girls and they go, oh man, this is who I want. I want this top 10 to 20%. So it doesn't matter how lopsided things seem to be. If you're at the club and there's 100 women in the club and 200 men in the club, those 200 men are going to be chasing 10 to 20 of those women. So the rest of them go ignored. If you flip it, it's going to be the same way. Those 200 women are going to be chasing 10 to 20 of those guys. So everybody who's on the outside of that is going to see the opposite sex as having way too high standards, being jerks, treating them like crap, and being bad people. And then when people sit here and tell you, oh, well, yeah, you're right, that is how it is. These people are crap. They are mean. They are disrespectful. They are narcissists. That's what you believe. This is what fuels the battle of the sexes. It's not everybody doing anything. It's the fact that 80% of the people, no matter what sex you're talking about, are chasing 10 to 20% of the people. And because they're chasing 10 to 20% of the people, they're getting crapped on by that 10 to 20%. It's only 10 to 20% of the people doing all the crapping. They're the ones that are ghosting everybody. That 10 to 20% is doing all the ghosting. That 10 to 20% is doing all of the using. That 10 to 20% is, or at least the vast majority of it, they're doing the vast majority of the ghosting, the vast majority of the using. They're doing the vast majority of the hit it and quit it. They're doing the vast majority of the using people, the gaslighting, all that other stuff that people talk about. There is a small group of people who have the opportunity to do all of this stuff. And you're comparing the entire sex, or you're grouping the entire sex in with those people. There are a lot of nice women out here in the world who would never use you for a date and try to eat off of you and not have any interest in you. But you're not trying to go out with them most of the time. You're trying to go out with that 10 to 20%. There's a lot of guys out here who would never hit it and quit it. They would never put you in the friends with benefits zone. But you're not trying to go out with those people. You're trying to go out with people who will put you in the friends with benefits zone because they have the option to do so. They got a bunch of people that's going after them, so they have the opportunity to do what they want. And that's what you see a lot of. Pops, I'm hurt. She done left me, man. What you think I should do? Boy, back in my day, all you had to do was go to her job and you cry and you get down on your knees. You beg and plead for her sympathy. I'm telling you, boy, that's all you gotta do. Pops, you talking about stalking her. That's a crime now. Yo, it's your man, Chazz Ellis. And I know y'all tired of getting this same old 1965 game that never works. Well, click the link below and check out 9 ways to get your ex back. This is cold-hearted game where I give you different techniques to turn the tables on your ex and get them chasing you for a change.